Welcome to Lesson 4, Introduction to Elementor and Building the Personal Landing. In our course, which is titled Complete Beginner's Guide to Website Design, No Coding. Now, here are the lesson objectives. We're going to install and activate Elementor. Now, not just that Elementor plugin, but there are other plugins that we're going to also install. We're going to create menu, header, and footer. And then we're going to understand widgets and templates better. And then we're going to build our first landing page. So let's dive in. Now the question is, why Elementor? Now that you have your WordPress environment set up, it is time to move into actual design. Instead of coding, we'll be using Elementor, which is the most popular drag and drop builder for WordPress. With Elementor, you can design professional websites without touching a single line of code. You can simply drag elements like texts, images, buttons, forms, and drag them to where you want them to be on the page. Now, there are some points that you need to take note of. We have the free version of Elementor, which is powerful enough for beginners. We also have the premium version, but like I said, the free version is powerful enough for what you need to do. Works seamlessly with most themes. Now, in this case, we are using Astra. And then it's visual, real-time editing. What you see is what you get. So it is perfectly accurate. So, like I said, this is an hands-on class, so it's going to be very, very practical. So let me move over to my site. Now, when you log into your WordPress dashboard, you're going to be welcomed to WordPress. And then we have some menu on the left-hand side. Now, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to install the plugin called Elementor. Now, we want to start building our websites. So there are some plugins which are very necessary. So when you go to the left-hand side, you hover over plugins, and then you go to add plugins. Now, let me go to install plugins first. So we have just 2 plugins that are installed and activated on this site currently. So we want to install a builder, what is going to help us to build the site properly. So you click on add plugins, and then you're going to search for Elementor in the search plugin bar. All right, so here we have Elementor website builder, more than just a page builder. So we're going to use this to build our page. And as you can see, it has over 10 million active installations. You click on install and activate. But I'm not going to click on activate yet. I want to install some other plugins because, like I said, we are going to create a blog page. We are going to create a landing page. And there are other plugins that I want us to make use of. So I'm going to install another plugin here, which is called Ultimate Add-ons for Elementor. You see, this particular plugin will enable you to customize your header and the footer. All right, it will help you to customize your header and the footer in the form that you love. So let's click on install. I want to install one more plugin, and the essence of that plugin is to make our menu bar to be sticky. Now here it is, sticky header effect for Elementor. Now as you can see that these plugins are for Elementor. So let's click on install. One more that I love to use is the essential add-ons for Elementor, popular Elementor templates. So I'm going to click on install. Perfect. So we've installed 4 plugins right now. Normally, I also love to use, you can do with Astra. Check for Astra under plugins. All right. Okay, so it should be starter templates, AI-powered templates for Elementor and Gutenberg. Now, take note that aside Elementor, Gutenberg is another page builder, which you can also make use of. So I'm going to install this. Perfect. So you move over to the left and then you click on Installed Plugins. So you can see that there are more plugins here. You have only two of them activated, which is Under Construction and Lightspeed Cache. The ones that we just installed are over here. So we're going to tick them because we want to activate them at the same time. Now, you're free to activate it one at a time. In fact, it is much more preferable because there are times when you may not know by activating all plugins together which one may cause a problem to a site. So sometimes it is advisable to activate it one at a time. But because I understand these plugins I'm working with, I know that they are very okay. Now, that does not mean that all Elementor plugins may not cause issues for your site. The truth is there are some that conflict and they may not be so compatible with another plugin. So, like I said, because I know that these plugins that I'm installing, they are very okay. So, I'm going down over here. It says bulk action, and I'm going to click on activate and apply. The reason why you are seeing this screen is because of the starter plugin that we installed. Okay. Now, this will enable you to start your site with a template, and it makes it faster and easier, especially for beginners or people that don't really know much about setting the builder, setting the page to look as perfect as possible. You can move on to using AI website builder, which is going to build the site for you, but it may not be to your liking, but sometimes it may please you to give you exactly what you want. Or you could build with some templates. So either of the two. Now, but in our class, I'm going to go through setting the block yourself, one after the other. Then I'll also show you using the starter templates. So let's go back. Here, let's click on exit to dashboard. This is better. Perfect. So we've exited to dashboard. Now let's go back to our plugins that we just installed and activated. So installed plugins. All right. You can see that Elementor, everything here has been activated. Take note that Elementor has Elementor Pro, which is the paid version. Starter has Get Premium templates. We also have UAE also has UAE Pro. So there are some of these. Okay, Essential also has a Pro version. Now, these Pro versions makes the design even sweeter, really. So let's go back to our slide and see what's next. All right, so we've added a new plugin, which is Elementor. Now, the next thing is we want to talk about widgets. Now, widgets are building blocks. Examples of widgets, we have heading, we have text editor, we have image, we have button, we have video, spacer, divider, icon, social icons, Google Maps, etc. As you can see in this image. So let's go to our websites and see what it looks like. Now, what exactly are these widgets? All right, so let's over to all pages. Okay, now I said we are going to build our first landing page. So let's just dive in and use our landing page. Then I will use that to explain everything about widgets and the likes to you. So let's click on Add Page. So this page we are creating is going to be our landing page that we're going to use for practicing. Now, what is the title of your page? Here is where you're going to put the title. So, for example, this site is the techskillhub.com/the title. Okay. Now, I want you to take a look at all of this properly. We have some tools here that you need to know you need to get familiar with. Let's start with the settings. Very, very important to add 1 or 2 things to the site. And we have this Astra. This shows you the container of the site itself. So if you want it to be a normal layout, now if you look at this, you will see that there's a lot of space on the left and the right side of the normal. Then we have the containers. We have the narrow. This one is much more narrow. And then here we have a full width. Full width means that the entire content of the site will be expanded, will be on the entire site. There will be no space at the left, the right at all. So that's that. Then we have a sidebar. In case you want to have a sidebar, like you have the main parts of the site where you can read. Then you have a sidebar where some widgets or some other things can appear. Then you can disable the header in case you're not interested in the header. You can disable the footer. You can disable banner area. Now, take note that once you apply these settings, this particular settings, it is only applicable to this page. It doesn't apply to other pages. Okay, so this is on-page setting. We have a setting that is global. All right, we have a setting that is global. So this one is just for this page. So let's call the name of our site, that's of our landing page, my person. Now, I want you to watch out for the slug. So go to this. Over here, you have the page. Okay, we went to this settings. You click on page, and then when you scroll down, you look at this. The slug is my-person. So meaning that for you to visit this page, you type in the URL, which is the techskillhub.com/my-person. So that's how you can get there. All right, so let's publish this page. And for us to publish, this needs to be highlighted. Now it is highlighted. So in case it is not highlighted, just wait for a few seconds and then to be highlighted. So click on publish. Then click on publish. Now, once you publish, actually it goes live. It goes live. But another thing is, in case you don't want to publish it immediately, all you can do, you could decide to save. There's a part here which says you can save. Now, you are the one that will be working on it, and you are the only person that will see it. But now that we have published it, anybody or everybody can see it. So let us launch the Elementor builder. As it is here, we have the title. We will decide to add some content over here, and it's going to show on this main site. Okay, we could add some content here and start building with this normal text editor. But we want to use Elementor because it's going to give you the real feel of what the site is going to look like. So I'm going to right click. Okay, I'm going to click on edit with Elementor, and then it's going to load. All right, so while this is loading, this is going to actually open into the Elementor builder. Now, let's go to our original dashboard. The tech skill.com. You can just go to this because there are other things I'm going to show you from here. I want to take you through menu. All right. Now, what do I mean by menu? Let me go to a website. All right. So when I say menu, here we have menu. So here we have menu over here. So as you can see, this particular menu, it stays with it while scrolling down, it stays up there. Okay. let's see this. Okay, this is another one. Here you have the header section, and then you have the menu. Okay, here you have menu over here. Those are the menu. And when you scroll now, that one is not sticky. So that one scrolls along. So that's what we are looking for. Now, where exactly are all these menus? Where are they? So let's go to dashboard. We go to appearance on the left, and then we locate menu. Perfect. So here are the menu. All right. So we have home, services, about, reviews, why us, contact. These are the menus that have been created, that came with the sites. So we could remove them. So we're going to remove them like this. Remove. Click on this. Remove. We don't want this. We don't want this. We don't want this. Now, I'm removing them because these are custom links. I want to put pages. So in this case, I'm going to, now when you go to the left, you can see pages. You see my person, you see sample page. So we created my person. So you click on that my person and then you add to menu. Perfect. Now, let's say that we want to add other menu. If we have created the page, normally the pages should appear on this side, but we've not created the pages. So let's say we're going to create a link there, just a customized link, so that we're going to have some menu over there. So let's have services, and we'll click add to, okay, we need to add a URL or just something there. So we're going to put the hashtag. Okay, click on add to menu. We're going to have about me. Okay, we need to add about me, then this, and then we're going to have contacts. Contact me or contact us, depending on the sites you are building. So you click on add to menu. Perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 items on our menu. Then you hit save menu. Okay, now before you click on save menu, I need to show you something. Now, this menu we are creating is going to be under primary menu. It's going to be under primary. You could create some other section. When I say section, this particular 5 menu, they are under the primary. You could create another heading and call it footer menu. How do you do that? Click on, go to this create a new menu, and then call it footer menu. I'm going to show you some examples. So let's first hit save. So right now, we are talking about menu. All right, so perfect. We are going to see this on our site shortly. Let's say we want to create a footer menu. So you click on create a new menu. We're going to give it a name, footer menu. We're going to hit create menu. Okay, you are free to click on this footer menu and then hit save menu. Next, what do we want to see on the footer? Let's say we want to see, so you could have created the pages as well. So when you have created the pages that you want, they are going to appear. Most of the time, what we see on the footer include privacy policy, terms and condition, copyrights, and some other things. Those are what you see basically on the footer of a site. Let me show you this as an example. All right, so here we have data privacy policy, IMS policy, and this. Even this, you can create this on that footer. But for now, we're just going to want to just have this. So let's go and create some custom links because we don't have the pages set up already. So let's say privacy policy. Click on hashtag, add to menu, terms and conditions. We have the hashtag. All right, so just those two. And then we hit, oops, sorry. Okay, and then we hit save. We have successfully created menu. So this is just how you create menu. It's as simple as this. Now, I want you to watch out for this. You can see at the top here, the menu that I just created are already appearing here. Home, my person, services, about me, contact us. And this is the header section. Now, this header section is what came with Astra. All right. You're free to leave this and then your site's wonderful. But there are times when you want to customize it. You want it to look different. I'm going to show you how to do that in this particular video. So it's still loading, and I believe it's still going to load completely. All right, so while that is still loading, now I want to explain some of what we have here. This plus icon here is for you to add any of the widgets that you have on the left-hand side. So when you click on it, it's going to ask you to select a widget here. All right, this is a folder. It's more like asking you to pick a blog, a page, or a template. So templates are things that have been created, either what you've created before, and then you save it on the site. You can import it to a page. All right, you can import that particular design to a page. That's what it's for. But currently, I don't have any templates over here. Then we have this. We have build with AI. We have templately, and then we have starter templates. Now, I'm going to explain the starter templates. Just give me some minutes. So now we can go back to our widgets. Now, these are the widgets that you're going to use to make your page look the way you want it to look. So here we have the layouts. So when I click on the plus icon, and then do I want grid? Do I want flex box? I use flex box most of the time because of the way it makes it look. Then structure, like the structure of what you want. You can choose any one. Now, as you can see this, it shows an arrow downward, and that is more like the way your widgets are going to appear, like it will appear downward. I'm going to show you an example. All right, and then you have the next one, which is going to the right, like it's going to be in the direction of a row. All right, then here, if you want to have two things placed on two sides, that's when you use this. This structure is also for two sides, but you have one short, smaller, one bigger, and so on and so forth. All right, so let's click the first one. So I've clicked the first one. Now, you can see my person here. Now, we do not want this my person to show here. We're going to remove it, okay? We're going to remove it. But before then, so we want to bring in a widget. So over here, you could bring in a header. As you can see, this is the header. You could bring in, so click on, if it's something else you want to bring in, click on this add elements. And then if it's an image you want to bring in, you click on this, and then you select the image which you want. So we have text editor, like normal text. Let me add this here. Now this is a normal text. Then you can start typing whatever you want to appear. You type it here. Okay. Then we could add buttons. You could add a video. You could add. So let's see what button looks like. Here you have a button. This is a button. You could add other things. Now this is a pro aspect, pro widget. We cannot use this except you've made payment for the pro version of Elementor. Then that's when you can make use of this. All right. So we have the general. Okay. We have the link in bio. We can collapse this. Now this is also paid version. This paid version. We have essential. Now this is one of the plugins that are added. So all of these widgets are part of what we can put to use in designing our sites. So that is basically what you need to know about widgets on the site. All right, so let's go back to our slide. All right, so you can see how I dragged and drop. You can easily drag and drop, or you can click. All right, so we have a lot of them. Now, talking about menus, headers, footers, pages. We've successfully created menu. Now, let's talk about headers, footers. Okay, so I'm going to take out all of this. So I just clicked that X, which is more like close, and then everything got closed. Then this, my person, if we're not careful, is going to be showing right at the home page. I mean, at the page, on this page, and we do not want it. So, okay, cool. So what I did, what you do is you go to this page setting up here, and then you click on hide title. So immediately you click on hide title, the title is no longer there. All right, so that's how you take out the title so that it will not show on the page itself. So now let's go back to creating a header and also a footer. Now, do not forget that you already have a header that comes with the Astra theme. It also has a footer, but let's say we want to customize it, and this is how you go about it. So you go over to the left. We installed and activated a plugin called UAE, Ultimate Add-on Elements. So there's UAE. Then you go to you hover over to header and footer. You click on header and footer. Let me show you the site you are working on. How do you get there? Click on this arrow down. You just click on view page, and then it's going to load. So currently, this is what we are working on. Now, my person is still there because I have not published it. This is the page you're working on. And this is the header. It looks beautiful, perfectly beautiful. All right. And then we want to create a header. Before we go to the header, I want us to do something very, very important. And that is, I want us to set up the color that we want and the typography that we want for this particular site. Don't forget that in our initial class, we talked about how you can do that. So you go over to appearance, you go to customize, and then you click on customize. We want to customize the header and the footer, the color and the fonts. Just a minute. So these are some things you need to do before you start creating your site. Make sure you've set up the color that you want to be global on the site, except you now want to change it per page. Ensure that you have set up your fonts. This is the font I want to be applicable on the entire site. And most times, you could just go on Google and search nice fonts or professional fonts for a news website or for a particular kind of site. That's all what you need to do. And then it's going to give you suggestions. Or if you've seen a particular font that you love, you can easily choose it from here. Okay? So this is still loading. While this is loading, I want us to go over to this place. Now, we want to add a header and a footer. And let's do that by clicking on this add new. I right click and then I open in the new tab. So I'm going to start with the header first. Now, we want to set our global fonts and color. Of course, you go to global, click on global. Let's click on color. Now, for the site I'm working on, I already prepared some information on the color that I want. So, and then the images I'm going to make use of. So I'm going to have this color to copy. I will come over. I will click on this. Then I'm going to add that color. Okay, that is there already. Then I click out. Then I click on this. copy this and I drop it here. So those are the colors I'll be using. Very close. Then another important color that you should always have in your project is black, like complete black. That's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Then you should also always have white. Very, very essential. In short, basically you can touch the first and the second. Leave out the remaining. Okay? And if you want other colors, you can still set it on page. But this is a global one that we are setting. So that's what we're going to have for it. It's going to apply to our accents, then to the links, basically. So I'm going to go back. I want to set my typography. Now, if I feel that this typography is cool, which is Inter Sans Serif, I will leave it. And if I want a different one, if I want Play Fair, I can select Play Fair. Okay, so this is a combination of Play Fair display / Open Sans, or I could decide to come over here and type in the one that I want. Okay, I will come over here and yes, and then you can type the one you want. Maybe it's Roboto, it's Times New Roman, or whatever. You can type it here. Perfect. So let's move. So let's say that we want the first one, which is Play Fair display. Okay, and this is how it's going to look like on the sites. This is for Play Fair. If you don't want Play Fair, if it is Lato, it's going to appear, it's going to be applied there, and so on. So let's say we are going with Play Fair and then Open Sans. All right, so now I hit on the publish button. So we have just we have just set our fonts and the color, and of course the font size. They are all here already, 64, 48. If you don't want it to be like this, you can change it, but don't forget that the order should, most times it decreases. Header 1 is the biggest. Okay, so that has been done. Now let's go back to creating a header. Now on our header section, let's call this header. Then we want it to apply at the head. So mean that if there was an head before, it will take out the head and then to replace it with the one we are creating. Okay. Then where do we want it to display? We want it to display on the entire site. If you want it to apply on just a single page, click on specific target, specific page, and then you put in the name of the page, maybe on the service page or on contact us page. That's the only place where you want it. But in this case, we want it to apply to the entire site. So I'm going to choose that. User role, all of this, you're free to, you can leave this, and then you click on publish. Now, because we have published it, I want us to go back to the page we are creating. And let me save this as well, so that my person will not show. So when you refresh this, I want you to see that you can see that there's no header section any longer because that header has been removed, okay, by this now. So before you hit your publish, make sure your header is actually ready. And you can turn it off by, now when we refresh this, the header that we created is already here. So here it is, okay? You can click on quick edit and then unpublish it by clicking on drafts and you update. Okay, and now when we refresh it, you can see the original header that came with the site is back. Okay, and you can see the color is looking beautiful because that's the color that we set under the customize. That's the color that we set. So let's still make progress. So let's say that we actually want it published. Let's still make progress with that. Now we're going to hit on edit. So we want to use Elementor to create the header section. So let's see what it looks like. So the Elementor page builder is going to load. Click on the plus icon. How many sections do I want my header to be? Now, let's say I want to have a logo, I want to have the menu, and I want to have social media icons. Okay, so let's choose 3. So we can click on 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. So all I need to do is I click on this add button and I'm going to bring a widget. The widget I'm going to bring is, let's say, logo. I'm going to type logo here and I drag this in here. No, let me use site logo. Let me use site logo. Okay. I'm going to set this to be in the middle. I'm going to set it to be in the middle. Okay, this is middle here. Okay, so now it's now in the middle. Okay, I'm going to set everything to be in the middle. So you come over here, you customize what you want. This is the middle. I want this also to be in the middle. So align item. Okay, you have justified to the center. Okay, cool. Then I want to put in my menu here. Menu, I'm going to type in menu. So the one I'm going to use is navigation menu by UAE. I'll drag it over here. Then when I've done that, it's going to ask me which of the menus. Is it the footer menu I created or the primary? I want the primary to be there. So as you can see, it is there. And then the next thing is I want to put social media. You can type in the icon, put in icon, or now I use this a lot because it's just so cool. But originally you could type in social media. Now, don't forget that some of these things that you are seeing here that I could just type in were added there because of some of the plugins I used. So if you don't put some of those plugins, for example, I installed an activated essential plugin by Elementor. I installed UAE by Elementor. I also installed Sticky by Elementor. Now, these 3 gave access to some of these items that I'm using here. So some of them did not originally come with Elementor. Please take note of that. All right, so you could drag in your social media icon here. And then as you can see, it already came with 3 social icons: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You can create the rest. All right, so now I'm going to change the background of this menu. So I'm going to click on this edit container. Okay. Now take note of some things. When I click on this, there's a change here. When I click on this, there's a change to this. When I click on this, there's a change to this. So you need to really play around this because it is just interesting. So, but I want to change the footer. I want to change the background of this particular menu. When you click on this, you can click on this, or you can come over to this structure. Now, this structure tells you all the things that you have on this page. So we have 3 containers on this page. All right, so you have 3 containers. You can create more containers by just right-clicking, and then you click on duplicate, and then it's going to show there. But we just want these 3 containers. Then this is the container that is housing the 3 containers. I'll call them the 3 sub-containers. So then go over to the left and click on style, go to classic, and then other color. Now, these are the color that we set under global in other customize. So click on theme brand. Perfect. So you can see that now we have a background for our menu, for our header. All right. So there are other things we're going to do. We click on this. I want to change how this looks. I want to change how it looks. I want it to be white. So I click on the edit, then I click on style, and then you over to typography, and then the text color. So I want the text color to be completely white. So I hover over to white. I click on white. So as you can see, now it is white. Now, when I hover over it, it shows green. I don't want it to be green. I want it to be a light the light color of this. So I'm going to click on over. I don't want it to be green. I'm going to change it to this. So when I hover over it, you can see that the color has changed. So this is going to be the color when I hover over it on the sides. Then active. When it is active, what color do I want? I want it to have that same color, this same color. So I click on that. All right. So now I want to change the look of this menu. I don't want it to have the original color. I don't want it to have the original color of the social media icons. So I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it. Let's change it to something else. I don't want the official color. I want to customize my color to what I want. So let's see, what do you have in the primary? Let's say I want, let me put this as white. Okay, now I don't want white. Let me put it as this. I want it as transparent. So you can see what I did. I dragged it here and then I made it transparent. So then I want the icon to be a bit smaller than this. So I want to change the size. So now this is too big. So you can just take it, reduce it a little bit, and then you have this. Perfect. Now I want these icons to go to the right. I don't want it to just stay at the center. So while on it, I'm going to come over here and I will go to align. I will take it to the right. So now it's aligned to the right. It's no longer in the center. I hope it's making some sense. So then this particular menu, I also don't want it to just stay there. I want it to also be at the right. So I'm going to click on that, edit, and then I'll go to style. Style? No. I'll go over to layouts. Then I want it to justify to the right. Perfect. It's on the right now. And let me also say that you are free to also move. You can, okay, now you can move these containers the way you want it. For example, I can move this one up, just drag it and drop it. You will see that, can you see? The menu has changed. Like now you have your menu on the right and then you have your social over there. Now there are times where I love to, I use this once in a while. Then let's go to the menu as well, that's to the logo. I want the logo to be to the left, so it's now on the left. Now you can collapse this and see what it's going to look like. So this is what your header looks like now. Isn't it looking cool? So what else? Another thing you can do is you can adjust the size of this. When you click on the container, like this is the container of the menu, this is the container, I can reduce it. It's on 50%. I believe that this one should be on, the other should be on 25. But this container has 50%. So when I click on it, I'll go to the width. If I don't want it to be on 50, maybe I want it to be something lesser. I can adjust it there. So I'll click on publish. Now, once I publish it, now, you know, this is what we have before. When we refresh this, it has changed to what we want. And we are on my person. That is the page that we are on. Okay, so I believe that makes a lot of sense. Okay, now there's something you need to take note of, that all this design we are working on since is basically for a laptop or a desktop. This is not yet responsive, it's not yet mobile responsive. So we need to ensure that it is exactly what we want. So, and how do we do that? Okay, so now you go over to this place here. We have a desktop. So this is how it's going to look like on desktop. This is how it's going to look like on tablets. Now, you can see that this has collapsed. Now, but I'm going to do something such that I don't want it to, I want it to collapse like it is, like this, but I want it to be on the left. So be on the right, not on the left. Then I want to move this to join it. So click on that icon and go over to layouts and then align to the right. Okay. Then I want this color to be white. I don't want it to be black. as it is black. So I go over to style, and then I move over to the trigger. That's the menu trigger and close button, and then I want it to be white. So I'm going to click white here. Now it is white. Okay. If I do not want that particular that's 4 lines, I could change it to something else. I go over to content, then layout, and then the menu icon. I want it to be, let's say I want it to be bar. Let me just choose 3 bars. Bar, okay. I want it to be 3 bars, not 4 bars. So it's going to change. So it has changed. All right. Now you can reduce the size of this by, you can just come over here and drag it. You can see, or you could decide to click on the container and change it from 50 to, let's say we want it to be 20. Okay, 20. Okay, then let's say we want this. So if you look at it, the entire thing is 100%. Like the entire width is 100%. So if you consider the container for the logo, it's currently on 25 here. So let's put it as 20. Okay, now something else needs to change. Change the from pixel. Most times I love percentage, so I use percentage. Okay, so it's on 25%. Then click on the container for the social icon. It's on pixel as well. Change to percentage. Then let's have that as so we've chosen 25% before. Let's have that as 50. No, let's have it as 60. 66 and 0. Okay, that's 60. So when you have your 25 plus 60, you have 85. So you have 15 left. So let's give the menu 15. Now change it to percentage, and then you're going to have 15, 1 and 5. So that's what it's going to look like on tablets. Okay. So when you click on it, it's going to open the menu. You're going to open the menu, and let's see the layouts. I want it to expand. Let's see, when I click on expand, what do we have? Okay, we have that. Let's see, flyouts. Okay, that's fine as well. So, but let's click on, let's see this. Okay, so let's still make some progress. Then let's go to mobile. Now, as you can see on mobile, this is the menu, it's not looking good. So you're going to also make some adjustments to it. Okay, now these are the things you're going to apply to each of the pages to make it look responsive, to make it mobile friendly. Isn't it interesting? So let's go. So currently this is mobile. It is on 100%. Okay, it's on percentage. So let's give this 20%. Okay, and let's give this 60%. Okay, and let's give this 20%. So that means we have 100%. So as you can see, now I'm going to reduce the size of social icons, and it's going to apply only to the mobile aspects. So we're going to reduce it from what it is. Let's have it as, yeah. So it's okay like this. So this is what it's going to look like. Then I click on publish. So we have successfully created our header, for mobile, for desktop, and okay, let's see what's happening here. Okay. Now let's change this from what we chose. We chose layout as vertical. Let's make it horizontal. Okay, horizontal is fine. Okay, so the breakpoint will be on from tablets, not just mobile. So click on publish. Now we've successfully created that. All right, now I want us to quickly create a footer. So click on add. So you can close this and then we want to create a footer. So let's call this footer. Footer, and we want it to be footer, and I want it to appear on the entire site. Okay, and then I will click on. So when that is done, you can save. I'm going to save drafts. I don't want to publish it yet. Currently, we don't have it. This is what we have on the footer. Okay, even when you refresh it, what we did will still not appear because we only saved it. We didn't publish it. So we didn't publish it. So now I want us to create our footer. Okay, this is loading. This is still loading. So you can do a lot of things. All you need to do is sit down and understand all these widgets and see what you can make it, what you can use them for. So on our footer, we're going to add, and then we're going over to Flexbox. We are coming. So let's say we want to just have two sections. We just click on these two sections. Okay. Okay. Now I want to have copyrights. So I want to have copyrights there. So I'm going to click on this. Now there's a copyright that comes with one of the plugins when we installed it. So let's say copyrights. Let's see if we have copyrights there. Okay, we have there. But then even if you don't have, I'm going to show you something else you can do. So this is the copyright that we have there. And so copyrights at 2025, the Tech Skill Hub, powered by the Tech Skill Hub. All right, so we could have that there. Then we want to have a menu on the right side, and then you can click on this. All right, so already we have it as a footer menu, so it's okay like that. Now, I want to make this be at the center, so I'm going to click on this container, and I'll click on center, and so also I'll come over here, I'll click on center. Okay, now there's something I missed out on the header section. I'm going to go back there. Let me launch it again. That's the header. I want to show you how we set up the sticky, how to make it sticky. So I'm going to go back. So instead of clicking on edit or quick edit, I'd rather go to edit with Elementor. So I'll right click. So I want to do something on that header so that it will be sticky. I'm going to show you what it looks like when it becomes sticky. So I want to put this at the center. Okay, I think this is already at the center. Okay, perfect. All right. Then I want this to be on the right. Okay, I want the color to also be similar to, okay, before then, let me set the background. The background of this, let's have it as black. So the background is the background. And let's go for black. Okay, so the background is still showing us this. Is not the global colors. So if you click on this, let's click on this, and then let's learn more from here. We can set up new colors from here. Okay, we can set up new colors from here. So let me bring in the colors. Let me bring in those colors that we set at the beginning. I'm going to put it here. I want it to also show here. Click on Control copy. to paste. Okay, we can give it a name. One. Let's call it main color. Then let's add another one, which is the second. Second. Okay, click on this, and then let's look for Control copy, and then we have this. Perfect. So we're going to save it. We want these two colors to also show as you're working. So we are also setting it as customized color here. So it's going to show everywhere. So let's go back to the editor. Let's set this to go to the right. So go to content, go to layout, and right. Okay. And then we want to set the color. Let's make the color white. Okay, let's change the color so that there'll be a contrast as of the background. So click on this, or just go over here and click on container. Then the background color, we want it to be black. Where's black? Black. Yeah, this is black. Okay. Then I want the color of this to be white. So that's white. Then I want this to appear everywhere, so I drag this. Okay, so perfect. Okay, then I want this color to change. I want it to change when they hover over it. So let's say it was green. Let's have it as this. Okay, let me choose the lights. No. Okay, so anyone we go with is fine. Okay, that's that. Then when it's active, I want it to also be this. Okay, yeah, this. So that's fine. Then we need to make it responsive. And then we could also change it over here. Now we can make this to be in the center. Okay. Now, I'm surprised this is not showing here. But over here it is showing. Okay, we're going to see it on the front end later on. So now we can hit publish. So it says, hooray, your post is live. So when you come over here and you refresh, perfect. You can see the footer is already there. The next thing now is we are going to, so I want to make the header sticky. So like I said, when you click on this, it's because it did not load completely. That's why you have this particular column. So you go to advanced over here, and there's an aspect here called SHE, which is sticky header effects. You click on it, and then you enable it. So once you enable it, it becomes sticky. Okay, now it has come back. So it becomes sticky. All right. So it becomes sticky on desktop, tablet, mobile, all across. And you can adjust a few things over here. You can adjust a few things over here, and then click on publish. We have successfully created our header and our footer, and likewise our menu. So let's go back to our slide and see what we have next.